Good evening, everyone. David, you always mess up my presentations. I'm very happy to be here tonight. Don't mind him, just let him be. I'm very happy to be here tonight. I'm seeing some good friends that I hadn't seen in a while. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Priscila. I'm one of the volunteers of this center. And today, like David said, we're continue to be talking about love, right? And if you don't understand the power of love, hurry up. You gotta understand it, because that's the most, and again, the most powerful instrument that we have as beings. Everything else is just everything else. If you know how to really love, you can attract, you can connect. And what is life than connections and attractions, right? An exchange of energy. And got a cute picture. Love cute pictures. So I got little cute pictures. Picture there. And we have this Sunday is Mother's Day. So I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about mothers and mother's love. But, no, okay. Pretend you didn't see that one. I wish I had that Man in Black. So, I did that erase. So, you guys hadn't seen that picture? All right. Who has heard of André Luiz? André Luiz, or the Astral City? André Luiz is a spirit that Chico Xavier, the medium Chico Xavier in Brazil, he's very famous in Brazil. He already went back to the spiritual world. But when he was here incarnated with us, he channeled a lot of books. And one of these books, or a series of books, was channeled by Chico and written by André Luiz. André Luiz was a doctor when he was here incarnated on Earth. And he had a mission. The spiritual world told him, okay, André Luiz, now your mission is to go and talk through Chico Xavier, right? Through Chico Xavier, all the experiences in the spiritual world. So people understand what happens here. And Chico did his part. André Luiz also did his part. And one of the most famous books is the first one, The Astral City. Is when he goes to this spiritual community. But we're not going to talk about this book in particular. We're going to talk about the fifth book of the collection that is called Libertação. And we can translate it to being to freeing, or liberating, or unchain, and you pick your translation. And in this book, I dropped your thing.
That's fine.
You're not gonna be mad, right? I'm a little clumsy, but I'm a good person, I swear. Okay. So, in this book, Freeing, is about this spirit, and he's a very hardened spirit. His heart is very hard, like a rock. And he's discarnated, he's not in this earth, and he lives in the lower zones of the astral dimensions. And in this lower zone, he's kind of a powerful judge in one of these cities. Because you know that whatever happens here on Earth is kind of like a copy of what it is in the other side. A lot of people think, oh, the other side is going to be very different. Well, it is very different in the very higher zones, but in the lower zones, it's pretty much like here, and sometimes worse. And in this place, he's like a judge, and he's a very powerful judge, and he takes care of all this little city. And he's there in that position, even though he has knowledge. He has knowledge of reincarnation. He has knowledge of the power of God. He does understand what Jesus signifies, that Jesus is the governor of the planet. He understands that in the end, good will prevail. However, he is so set in his ways. His ego is so big. And it's so hard for him to get in touch with his own heart, with his own sentiments, emotions, that he chooses to be in that position. A judge, this powerful figure in the lower zone. And no one dares to tell him otherwise, that he shouldn't be there. No one challenges him because everyone fears him. But there is one soul, one spirit that had never forgotten him. And that spirit thinks of him every minute of her life. And she's already in the high zones where everything is almost perfect and beautiful. There is no pain. But she's there, she's up there. But she is not content. Guess who she is? Who wants to guess? His mom, his mother from his past incarnation here on earth. So she has everything. She evolved. She went up. But she can't stop thinking of him. It saddens her. Her heart hurts every time she thinks of her son. So she decides to help him. And they plan. There is this big plan. We don't have time to talk about the whole book. It is a very interesting book. I recommend that if you haven't read The Astral City, that you do that before you go to this book, because then you're going to be like, oh my God, I don't understand what's going on. So you're going to be kind of lost. So read these books, the first books first, and then you go to that book. But she comes from her higher state, and she comes up with this great plan involving all other spirits that want to help him, and all these other spirits, they also love other people that are involved in the story. And all these other spirits, they talk to him, he can't change his mind. But once, and he hadn't seen his mom Matilde for a long time, for I think it was around 300 years. And then she shows up to him. She shows herself to him. Because the highest spirits, they choose if they want to be seen or not seen. And she shows up to him. And when she does, that's towards the end. I'm going to spoil alert. If you don't want to hear, just cover your ears. You can read the book. But at the end of the book, she shows herself up to him. And she opens her arms. And he looks at her. He goes, "You never forgot me." And she says to him, "How could I? I love you more than anything. You're my son. You're always going to be my son, my loved one." And she calls him to her arms. And that judge, so evil, so bad, so stiff, he couldn't resist. He goes to the floor, he starts crying, and she goes and hugs him. So that is the mother's love. A love that can change even the most hardened hearts. Very good book, read it. So that's supposed to be her. I'm supposed to go, yeah, surprise her and her heart. That's Virgin Mary, but let's pretend it's not. It's the Matilde that I was talking about. And when we talk to understand mother's love, we can go to prisons. If you go to prisons, who has been to a prison in visiting days? You can be volunteering. You don't have to be there for us. So it's like, if you're there, 89%, and I'm saying 89 because it sounds very scientific. Yeah, I researched it. So if I said 80, wouldn't, but 89 is right? So 89% of the women lying there to see the incarcerated, can you help me with that word? Yes. Incarcerated, there we go, good, thank you, are their mothers. And if you ask them, well, how is your son? Could you describe your son? Oh, he's a lovely boy. He's so kind. He's so handsome. He can do almost everything. He's very intelligent. He's very smart. And that's what they're going to tell you if you ask those mothers to describe their sons. Because that's mother's love. Mother's love sees what is the best in everyone. It doesn't mean that the bad part doesn't exist, our shadows, they do exist, and mothers know. But that's not what they focus on. They focus on the goodness, everything that is good. And you ask any mother, they'll tell you a list of wonderful things, no matter who their child is. And it's very interesting because, talking again about Chico once, he used to go to prisons and visit, volunteer, and do the gospel like we do the gospel at home. He would, go and show them how to do the gospel so the inmates could do it by themselves or together, however they chose to do. And one person asked Chico, so are there a lot of bad spirits there in prison following the inmates? Do you see? It must be horrible, right? All the bad energy, all the bad spirits that must be there attached to those inmates. And Chico turns to him and says, no, nothing like that. They don't need to be there. They don't want to be there. They're free. Why they're going to be there with those people that are there? And he said, what do I see are the angels that come to visit. And the angels that come with the angels, talking about the mothers and the angels that come with the mothers to visit the inmates. That's mother's love. That's mother's love. And you might ask, Priscilla, you're talking about mother's love. Why you're showing Jesus? Because that's what he taught us. Because mother's love is the way that God found to teach us how to learn unconditional love. Because mother's love is nothing more than unconditional love. When Jesus came to earth and he sat with criminals, right? With all the bad people in society at the time, he didn't care. He saw the good in everyone. He saw come on guys, the 12, the apostles, right? The apostles, not the brightest, not the sharpest tools in the shed. But Jesus saw what? The potential. Because Jesus has what? The unconditional love eyes. He sees all the good. He sees the potential. He sees the divine inside of each heart. He sees God inside of every one of us. So that's what he taught, the unconditional love. And when we talk about mother's love, that unconditional love, it's not only for women. We know fathers, right? We know people that are not even blood related, but they are able to love others the way mothers do. So this is unconditional love, mother's love. And in the gospel, according to Spiritism, in this passage that says, let the little children come unto me. The spirits, they tell us, Jesus, through that passage, remember this passage that the little kid wants to come to Jesus? And the apostles, remember the apostles? They go, no, don't disturb the master. Don't disturb the rabbi. And the rabbi, and Jesus goes, no, let them come to me. Let them come to me. And he says, and then like every opportunity, because Jesus used, when he was here among us, he used every opportunity he had to teach us something, didn't he? Every opportunity became a lesson. And about this passage, the spirits, they explained to us, Jesus wanted mankind to deliver themselves to him with confidence. In the same way, the tiny thoughts with their special appeal win over the hearts of women who are all mothers. Then he could submit the souls to his tender and mysterious influence. So even though Jesus called God Father, right? Because we follow Jesus, we call God our Pai, right? Or Father, don't we? Father in heaven. But if you follow, Jesus called him Father because that's how God was called. God was seen as a male back then. Not that Jesus knew better. Jesus knew, but he had to kind of go along with certain things at a time. But God is not a father on. God is our mother. Because God, no matter how bad or what we do, God continues loving us, right? Unconditional love. The way our mommies do 100,000 times. That's God loving us. So when we say Father, you can feel free to say Father, Mother. Because God, and before, especially in the Old Testament, the first revelation, we see God also as the stuff. And that's how it was described. And used to punish. If you do something wrong, God would punish you. And then Jesus brings us a God that is more like a mother. Right? The God of Jesus is a God more like a mother. Accepting, tolerant, right? Always there for you. So that's the kind of love we're learning. We're in the process of learning. And if you have been blessed in this incarnation to be a mother, that's your opportunity to learn unconditional love, at least with those beings. And if you are not, you can be a father. And also being a father, you can exercise that. And we can do it now because Jesus loved us. If he didn't, we were his children, and we still continue kind of being, we're his little brothers and sisters. So you don't have to wait also to be a mom to love like a mother, right? So I brought this picture for you because it's this guy opening up his arms, expecting God to hug him like our mom. Because sometimes we do need, don't we? And the best thing, one thing that I do and I recommend is when you're feeling sad and you're not okay, sometimes you can't get yourself even to calm down enough to connect with the spirits, right? With the good spirits. Because that's what we should do. A lot of people say, I want to do right in life. I want to choose the right things because we got a free will, right? We have free will and we choose. So we're choosing our path all the time. That's our job. No one is choosing for us. We're the masters of our own destinies. But we want to be right. And in order to be right, you got to make the connections. And the first one that we can connect, the easiest one is who? Who knows? Our guardian angel, right? We can connect first to our guardian angel. We can do that. But you have to calm yourself down. We know how the law of affinity is. Your vibrations have to be a little higher so you can connect in the same station. So you can get all the good intuitions. And if you keep that up, then we connect directly with Jesus and God and all the higher vibrations. So we can receive all that. But sometimes when you're not okay, you know, when those days that everything's going wrong, you're crying, you can't stop, you can't really think. If you could, one thought could cross your mind, it's just that God is hugging you. Imagine God like this big mama, right? Just picture God like this big mama, and you're getting a hug from that beautiful energy that is our Father, our Mother, however you want to call it. That's going to calm you down. I promise you. You try it when you're not feeling okay. Okay? So now I want to ask you, so we do that exercise. I'm already, so we'll open for questions if you want, or comments later. So I like to ask, I'm going to do an exercise. Are all relaxed? Breathe. Let's open our hearts, open our minds. Let's feel the energy coming out of us, the good energy. And now that we're open up, let's think of our mothers. And thinking of our mothers, let us thank them for all their love, for caring for us, for helping us. Let's also thank those women or men that also loved us unconditionally and helped us be who we are today. Let's thank all these people with all of our hearts. It doesn't matter if these loved beings are incarnated or discarnated. Doesn't matter. Let's send them our love, our gratitude. Let's send our love and gratitude to our grandmas. Let's feel this unconditional love. Let's hug them. And now that we feel hugged by them, let's go to our Master, our Guide, Jesus, filled with this unconditional love. Let's touch our dear Guide, our big brother, and also exchange with him energy, this powerful energy that is love. We feel strength, we feel bigger, stronger, at the same time lighter when we're filled with this energy. Let's also bring to this moment Mary, Jesus' mother. Open our hearts to her. Let's be grateful to her for helping Jesus to come to this earth and teach us. Let's thank Mary for her unconditional love, not only towards her child Jesus, but towards the whole humanity. And now with our hearts full of joy, with our vibrations high, let's go up to God, our big Father, Mother, and let's receive from Him now all this beautiful energy, all His unconditional love. And let's ask Him to touch us inside, lighting up our divine lights so we can fulfill His plans and be all He wants us to be. Beings of love. Let's be with God for a little bit. And now let's come back. Continue with God. Continue that connection, but open your eyes so we can. That's good, right? That's something you can do by yourself, anytime at home or at the office or anywhere you are. Just connect yourself. You don't have to be only here at the Spiritist Center to connect yourself to good energy. And once you learn how to connect, you're going to be able to be connected all the time with this good energy. So when Mother's Day comes, let's do this. Even if you're not here at the center, if you're at home, whatever you are, let's stop and connect yourself to all the goodness in the world. And let's ask Jesus, the governor of this planet, to help us help the progress movement so other people can be touched by his love, by God's love as well. And may Jesus touch us and enlighten us so we can help others if they're down to stand up like a mother would. We don't have to do this only to our children, because we're all children. We're all children of God. And God has given us each other, so we have each other. So it's our duty to help one another. And because we're only going to be happy if we're all well. Because no spirit, no high, especially a high spirit, it's not going to be there in heaven or in the higher zones, playing the instruments like sometimes we see the little angels, right? With the little wings and playing. That's not how it happens. We're connected. We're all connected. So if I fail, you fail. If you succeed, I succeed. So we should be happy every time someone does something good, someone excel. We should be happy for them. If you cannot be happy for someone when they succeed, when they're happy, look inside. You got some work to do. If something good is happening to a person and that is bothering you, look inside. Look inside. There's something that you have to work on, because that's not God's way. And in order to evolve, to be happy, we have always to follow God's way. And God's way is, if you're okay, I'm okay. Of course, we all have our inner peace. And that's us conquer. All mine. It's going to be all mine. But how God has is, I can only be 100% if you're also well. Right? How can be 100% happy if the people around us are not? There's no such thing. So I invite you to think about that and to think how you can touch other people's life. How can you be a mommy? Right? Even if you're not how can you be a mommy to someone? How can you love someone? And look for the good things when you're looking at a person, look for the positive. Look for the positive. Because of instincts, and we're coming out of the animal stage, right? Spirits, they explain to us that we still have instinct. Our instincts are very strong. So sometimes it's easier for us to get stuck in the bad, isn't it? If someone hurt us, someone can have done 100 good things to us. 100 good things. 1,000, put 1,000. Let's just 1,000 good things. That person did one thing. One small thing that we did not like. What do? We automatically erase all those 1,000 things. And we get fixated in that one bad. That's not God's way. That's not God's way. And don't think you're going to be more powerful if you're acting like that. Because only when you're acting God's way, you're strong. So think about it. When was the last time you erased 1,000 of good things because that person did one bad thing to you? Is it logical, isn't it? Because it's still instinctual. Because animals, they got to memorize the bad things, don't they? To survive. So their memories better be good. If something bad happened, they better memorize all that. Because they got to avoid that situation again. But guess what? We're not animals. We don't have to be that they have that instinct anymore. We are evolving. The spirits, they explain to us, you're in evolution. You're leaving all that behind. So let's learn. If you want to be powerful, you have to learn how to love. That's the power. That's the most powerful thing that is. And sometimes in society, when we see something acting out of love, what do you think? Oh, what a moron. Don't we? Look, that person's letting everyone abuse, right? That's what we think, that a person is weak. But that is so wrong. Because it's the contrary. It's the total opposite. That person is strong. That person is so strong that they're doing what they're feeling they should do. They're on God's way. And they don't care. Other people think. Because they're doing the right thing. And every time we put out love, what do we receive? We receive love back. So it might not be from that certain person that we helped, that we loved, but we get it back. And remember, that person's going to love us back. It might not be in this incarnation, like in the story from the book. It might take 300 years, but the connection is going to happen. Because it's inevitable. Because this is God's way. And God is the boss. It's His laws. So I invite you to think about that. When you think your mom, and mothers, even if you, I don't know everyone's story, but even if your mother, if you have a birth mother, and then you have a mother that raised you, or grandma raised you, or another woman, or whoever, even the mother, if your mother was not able, your biological mother was not able to raise you because of many situations we don't know, or you might know, thank your birth mother as well, because she brought you to this incarnation. She did something very good. Because she gave you opportunity. She might not have been able to continue, but she brought you here, right? Let's thank the people that raised you for their love. Because sometimes we ask, and we forget to thank, don't we? And we have so many blessings, especially here. Think about it. Right now, we are in the AC room, right? We're all comfortable. We're talking about, you might be a little hungry, but you know, once you leave here, you can get food, right? If you're a little stinky, no, you smell good. You always smell good. I am stinky though. If you're a little stinky, you know, you're gonna go home. You have a shower, right? You take a nice shower, bubble bath. Everyone has a tub, right? So you can take a bubble bath. You should be thankful for that, for all these things, because we ask. When do you think? Oh, I don't have this, I don't have. Oh, you don't haves. How about all the haves? Are you thinking? Because once we're thankful, we're connecting to God's way. We're connecting to this unconditional love. And that's the power. We want to be in this stream. We want to connect to that power. Right? Because once you're connected, you're good to go. You can do anything. You're strong. So that's my invitation for you tonight. This Mother's Day week and weekend. Look inside. See how things are. How's your unconditional love going? Are you able to see beauty in other people? Are you only picking the bad? Are you able to see the beauty inside of yourself? How are you treating yourself? How's your inner voice? Because sometimes we're very, very kind to others, aren't we? Oh, hi, you're so beautiful, right? I love your hair, beautiful braid, right? You're so nice, beautiful smile, right? You're so smart. But then when we talk to ourselves, what do? We criticize, right? We put ourselves like we're little dictators. We torture ourselves. We put ourselves down, so down, so down. Pay attention how you're talking to yourself. Because that voice also guides you. Your own voice is telling you who you are. And let me tell you, if you're talking to you this way, you're not telling yourself who you really are. Because you're a child of God, and you're divine already. You're beautiful. And if you're saying otherwise, no good. Think how your mom would talk to you. How would your mom talk to you, or that person that loves you? How would they talk to you? When you're going through something tough, and sometimes there are some things in life we cannot share, right? Have you ever gone through a moment that you're like, this is my moment, I don't want to share with anyone, this is my feeling? But one exercise that we do, you're never alone, first of all, because we have our guardian angels, all the people that love us, that are our friends, that are discarnate. We have the good spirits, and we have God. So we're never alone. But when you feel like that, think how that person loves you, talk to you. Used to talk to you when you're little. And talk to yourself that way. Just don't say it out loud, because people like, ooh, cuckoo. But talk to you that way. You know? When you look in the mirror, not bad. You know? Call yourself gatinha, or whatever, right? Pituquinho. I don't know what your moms would call you. I don't know if you're not Brazilian. If you're Brazilian, moms, when you're Brazilian, your moms, moms will have like a lot of nicknames for us, and but right, little nicknames, no, pet names, no, or just your name. That's a beautiful name. I don't think they should. It was a wise choice that she didn't have a pet name for you guys, because you have beautiful names.
Depends if she's angry.
Yeah, full name. We know that our mothers are angry at us when they call us by our full names, right? So be careful. Don't call yourself by your full name, because you know you're in trouble with yourself. So we have that. So we have that ability. Talk to yourself with love, like your mom did, like that person that loves you did. You have that. That's power. That's power. And let me tell you, talk to the top executives today in the world, right? And read Times Magazine, and there's always also that website, the TED Talks. Have you ever heard? Technology, entertainment, and design, TED Talks. And sometimes they'll bring the high executives, the very successful people, right? The people that we think. And the most successful ones, they will tell you that they have this connection and this inner voice that will drive them. And this inner voice is never a mean voice. It's never a mean voice. So that's power. It's something that we're going to have to learn anyways. Might as well just get started now, right? So that's my invitation for you tonight, to get in touch with your inside mother, to your outside mother, with Mother Nature as well, because Mother Nature, look, that's why we call nature Mother, because it gives us so much. So let's be thankful and get connected with this beautiful energy, okay?